Start of the game. There we go. Top left side, we have a blue Zerg player. Vetting for Kaisi Gaming. Solar. This opponent we've been able to see a couple of times already perform today. Mostly the ZVT matchup, of course, but ZVZ was pretty good as well against the one and only Finnish Phenom, Cyril. Let's see if he can take on another Zerg whose name starts with the letter S. It's Team NV's DRG. Cyril, Solar, they sound a bit similar. Not entirely unlike one another. As things are starting off casually here with the second base being taken. No quick spawning pools or any shenaniganry like that. Nothing of the sorts. Just solid stuff right here. And these overlords having the same trajectories. Looks like the second overlord for Solar might be a little bit ahead of schedule. Well, it's only with a couple of meters. Won't change the game in any sense or way of the word. Now, differences we might see between, you know, two Korean Zergs in comparison to what we saw in the EU versus Zerg, Korean Zerg. We might have a bit more Zergling, Baneling harassment and aggression. And just Zergling, Baneling armies fighting one another as well. Especially in the earlier parts of the game. It has been becoming more and more standard, of course, for the Zergs as well in Korea. To make that transition into ROG just a bit quicker. As the European Zergs kind of showed the way into that type of playstyle. Both Solar and DRG have been starting to increase their kind of standing, in my eyes anyway, in their skill levels. Both of them just consistently getting better and better results. Not sure if we're going to see of the level of Cyril versus Rainer in some matches that they've played in ZVZ, but it's going to be interesting still to see the Korean variant of something like that. Very close to it. May have to call Dark versus Rogue. But I think DRG, you could kind of put him up there as well, really. The Baneling Nest. Finishing up for both players. Only one safety Baneling for Solar. DRG just making a couple a little bit later as he sees those links coming across the map. There's a nice little protective area here with the Queens helping out quite a bit. Minimizing the damage on them as well. Quite nice. Losing a couple of those Zerglings, but that's alright, that's alright. The roaches are starting up. Looks like Solar grabbing the +1 attack a little bit sooner. That's a lot of Baneling hits right there. Quite a good, clean connection. Let's see. Definitely an influx of damage right there. Almost 10 extra Zerglings being lost in this early game so far. And a Baneling there being lost for DRG as well. Solar definitely making some headway right now. This is with him grabbing those... well, the +1 ranged attack a little bit sooner as well. Gotta be careful of his opponent's Baneling here still. But seems to be... you know what? Kind of rotating around that pretty well. Playing around the Banelings sufficiently enough. Alright, willing to trade for the 3 Zerglings here. One Baneling trying to deny some of the HP here before these Banelings actually hatch. Solar's going to just go for it. Is it going to be in time? Yes, it is. By the skin of his teeth, being able to stop all those Banelings from becoming a problem. But now we have roaches for DRG already at the front door of Solar. Solar with a lot of roaches in his production queue, but needs a bit longer before they are actually available for him to fight with. The attack here is already available. A lot of drones are going to get buried underneath these biles. But I don't think DRG is going to be able to break his opponents. And I don't think that he's going to be able to get himself ahead on the work account either. So, funnily enough, even with 10 workers going down, still a almost 10 worker lead here for Solar overall. As DRG moves back, he's just producing more and more army units. A little bit of wary of the counter-attack potential coming in here. Can't say I blame him. Looking for a bit of a run into the natural base with links. Won't be able to find that either. Lair now for Solar, starting to become an issue. Well, an issue for DRG at least. It's nice Overlord spread for DRG though, to be fair. Might become a problem if there is a Spire for Solar coming up. Not sure if that's the route he wants to be taken here. He might just want to go for the roach speed and better upgrades, of course, but let's see. Just roach speed so far. No new missile attacks. Yeah, just a roach speed. Wolfblade's being very careful with their drone numbers as well. Just sticking around the kind of number that they have. To be fair, Solar though, with a pretty significant advantage on that department. We'll still have to be a bit wary of the attack of DRG though, of course. Even though he has been just mining a lot more money recently. Yeah, look at that. That's so many roaches here for Solar. Already available. Where's the rest for DRG? It's still spilling across the map right now. Is this the fight that he should be taking? The Biles are managing to get some good work for him. The Ravagers, of course, also a little bit longer range, so we'll be able to provide a bit of extra DPS from along the edges. As Solar is struggling to get all his roaches firing at the same time. It looks like DRG is muscling his way in here. Oh, good bile dodge right there. I thought that was going to connect for sure. The roaches for Solar, the last attempt to stop this damage from coming in. 14, 15 workers have come down. And that is going to put Solar, in fact, on the lower number of workers than his opponents. But Solar still having an army here himself, of course. Might be able to come across. Looking at the army supply, already similar. Actually, the dead on same might not be enough for Solar to start pushing forwards those lings. I thought for a moment they're going to be able to take out that base, but no, DRG realizing he's going to need them back at home. Are they going to arrive here in time? It looks like they will. That is a wonderful surround. Those Zerglings, that was the right call to bring them backwards here. Now we'll be able to kill off every single one of these roaches in a clean fashion and maintain that advantage that he's gotten himself. Solar struggling, trying to get back. Huddle up together. Form a new plan. Formulate some sort of a way to get himself some damage done as well. Here we go. And once more, the roaches of Solar starting to push forwards, but it's just too much stuff here for DRG available. At least he still has his third base. Third base that felt like it should have been killed, but no matter. Little gobbledygook on top of the third base here. We'll be able to stop some of the larvae from spilling on out. You got to do something in order to make this a equal fight once again. And stuff like this might be a good way to get that kind of idea started. A couple of Zerglings into the main base though, as DRG makes use of that opportunity to wiggle his way through the middle. In the open area, harder to stop your opponent from getting a similar concave as you will have in these types of areas, of course. Let's see, Solar a bit grouped up, takes him a bit longer to establish the concave. Still has defender's advantage here, of course. Those links in the main base, okay, they are dealt with. Took a couple of roaches as well, more spilling on through. Is this enough for Solar? I think so, yeah, that should be enough. Is it? Oh, more links coming in. That's a lot of links, actually. That takes a long time to target down. DRG might be able to break on through here. Supply full army definitely going into his favor now. And, yeah, DRG is busting on through. The drones starting to get back on the line again, but I don't think they have the luxury to start mining more minerals. Then again, Solar needs to have more minerals to make more army units. Alright. Top right side, Blue Zerg. One game behind. It's the one and only Kaizi Gamers Solar. Would be a shame for him. He's been waiting all day to get to play his match, and I hope for him that he's not going to get kicked out. In the bottom left side, we have a red Zerg player fighting for Team NV. It's Dongregu. Second game, starting off on a similar foot as we did game number 1. Nothing aggressive, nothing crazy coming out here. Just going to keep tabs on the production tab so far. Is the extractors, is the 17th ling, and the 18th ling becomes the spawning pool. And then you start making more drones, start putting them on the gas. This is the very, you know, economical way to open up. DRG not putting his drones on the gas just quite... Oh, no, he is. There we go. Guess he added with his hatchery waypoint instead. Now adding the egg waypoint. Okay. Okay. He was just cutting it close. Just waiting for the eggs to be almost done. Second base is about to be spotted by the overlords. Gonna start introducing some anxiety to these players, of course. Oh boy, we're doing the same thing. Alright. Maybe it's actually lessening the anxiety, I suppose. Realizing, alright, nothing one basey is coming my way. Synchronized third base taking here. Oh. Yeah, no, this is close by. I think Solar had a slight millisecond delay there as he arrived at the location, trying to sync up with a DRG again. Felt like that, at least. Bailing Nest. Alright. For both players as well. As standard as it gets, boys and girls. As standard as it gets. If you wonder how to play ZVZ, I think this is the match you want to see. Just like, alright, this is just the established way. Evo chamber, slight difference here for Solar. He does get the Evo chamber. I think we've been seeing him getting the +1 ranged attack a bit sooner than his opponents overall. Let's see if he starts it up right now as well. What's he going for? He's still building 10 links right now, so... Oh no, it is still the ranged attack. Alright. Good, good, good. I don't think these links are really meant to take out the third base or anything like that. They're just kind of here to get what they can, information mostly. That's what their goal is. They get 3 drones, which is quite spectacular. Now these links, the more links spilling in, they're actually maybe a bit hopeful. With already banelings on the high ground right now. Not sure if you're going to be able to stop the third base from existing. Circling some banelings moving out, being spotted by the Overlord there. Just on the ramp area. The Queen trying to escape the red circling revenge. Alright, shutting down the retreating path of the drone so far. Actually, a little bit desynchronized with the banelings. Gets 4 workers regardless. But at the same time, there was some aggression here on the other side as well. I think it was just at the third base, so both of them kind of trading out workers equally. Solar ahead, though, on the worker count. Slightly, but you know what? It's enough to give you more money. Any more workers you have, it's just going to be more money available to you rather than your opponent. Ah, grabbing another drone. Expanding on that lead. 7 drone kills versus 4. What's this? Nidus worm. Nidus worm. Doesn't really have overlords in a perfect position. There is a spire coming up. I think this could work out really well for Solar. I think this could work out really well for him. Oh, the Nidus woman gets spotted though. And that's a good connection of a couple of banelings here from DRG as well. Solar has enough roaches in order to defend against the Zergling counterattack, but I mean, well, I suppose you can't deny this Nidus worm. It's just out of vision. You don't know it's there. There's no way for you knowing that it's there except for just checking everywhere and maybe luckily get that position. Solar even bringing a couple of drones along, anticipating a Mutalisk response, and DRG just taps on out right then and there. He's like, alright, you got me. It's gonna arrive 2 minutes late though, this answer, and somebody already is responding to you in chat, so you know what, it happens. I'm too used to casting without a delay, just being able to talk to everyone randomly at any point in time, but yeah, the 2-minute delay, it's throwing me off a little bit here and there, but it's alright, it's alright. Third bases for both the players getting constructed. Solar, nice little Zergling micro. Same for DRG though. Both of these players trying to keep all the Zerglings they can alive. Quite a nice little fun micro moments. Both players get the confirmation that there is in fact that third base being developed. A little bit of a difference though in the production tab is that we're seeing drones for Solar, and for DRG we're seeing a whole lot of Zerglings. And these Zerglings, oh, 16 Zerglings actually now coming out for Solar as well. Maybe Solar on top of this third base thinking, you know what, you're not making enough lings, are you? Now going back into the drones. Alright. May have just all been safety Zerglings here for DRG. Did need a couple of them to stop his third base from going down, and now more Zerglings as the choice from Solar. Seeing this lack of Zerglings here, he's gonna double down on the aggression and now find his way into the natural base. No, never mind, it's gonna U-turn himself out of there. Zerglings in the main still, and now back onto that third base. Quite a difficult situation all of a sudden having to be dealt with. Banelings make it a bit doable though, negating the effectiveness of this Zergling force. He dealt with it rather well, didn't lose pretty much anything. Solar investing a lot of larvae into making those Zerglings. remake those drones. But of course, that's just DRG having drones a bit quicker. And a bit more. 35 versus 30 here. Not sure what the Banelings were thinking of doing there, but... waddling straight into a couple of roaches right there. Quick way to, well, regret your life decisions, I suppose. Snapping all of this away. Zerglings going for the main once again. Finding themselves a queen with a lot of energy on it. Now it's setting themselves up on some drones. One of them... and... wow, he gets out. Just runs out again. But it's only a couple of links running out, but... still pretty good. Sees the roach numbers that are being produced and... it's gonna start maxing up the roach production of his own. That's a solid army advantage here. Overall in supply. Solar is behind on workers, but ahead on army might be a good choice for him to try and make something happen here. Which is what he's doing. 5 roaches worth army supply here for DRG still in the production tab. So there is actually a bit of an army supply advantage here for Solar, or there was, up until these 5 roaches are finishing up. Well, that's one of them. We found one of them. One was enough to change it. Alright. Right side here. Little Zergling run by being set up. Hopefully that is going to bide its time. Wait for the perfect moment. That's smart. That's smart. You're going to like it. Just sending in 2. Trying to see what is what. How many units do you have in the neighborhood? Both these army supplies looking very similar. Worker counts now as well. Just going a bit back and forth. We have the Spire coming up for Solar, and DRG so far not looking any interest in trying to claim the air territory here. No Hydralisk, no Infestation Pit, nor a Spire or anything of the sorts. He's just busy getting the Roach upgrades and the ranged Evo Chamber upgrade. Together with the Carapace now as well, I suppose. Well, a very strong ground-to-ground force. Well, if anything against those Mutalisk. Now, as we saw in the game number 2, it didn't matter for Solar that there was nothing shooting the sky at that moment in time. I guess he had a couple of queens, right? The queens went along with the Nidus as well. And he was making the Spore Crawlers. But not having, like, your own air units, or your own units that are specifically meant to be cleaning up the Mutalisk. It's not entirely necessary. First things first, shut down all the vision of your opponents. Never gonna let him have an easy time reading you anymore. And that is one of the most extreme advantages you can get in the ZVZ. DRG now kind of has to make estimations and just guesswork. Are you going to double down on the Mutalisk? Are you going to try to just weave in a big, massive Roach Assault instead? What's going to be happening? And this is already a maxed out Solar actually, together combining with the Roaches and the Mutalisk. A very strong opening here for Solar. Coming in on the 4th base. And I think that's going to be taken out. A 3rd base, looking a little bit more secure. DRG will be able to sustain his mining there, but this 4th base is going to be taken out. More roaches spilling on through for DRG, but I don't think that is actually going to stem the bleeding here. Maybe eventually, but the Mutalisk are still a problem. Oh, never mind. Those biles landing on the Mutalisk. Hopefully those weren't friendly biles, but I guess we'll... Oh my, that is too much for Solar. That is too much that Solar has right now available. DRG, yeah, he has to tap out. GG is cold, and Solar takes game number 3.